Thank you very much, Sarah Thornton, for BBC London 94.9. So a lovely outlook for today, and still nice over the weekend. It's 8:25. It's the Breakfast Show with me, Paul Ross, and Penny Smith. And one of London's most beautiful parks has been left, apparently, under a mountain of debris and rubbish by a group of travellers. Earlier, the leader of Ealing Council told us the group had camped at Gunnersbury Park illegally for 3 days. The council shares the responsibility of that park with Hounslow Council. Joining us now is Joseph G. Jones from the Gypsy Council. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning.
And what do you make of this story? The leader we spoke to said that this group had now moved on to Blondin Park, actually in Ealing itself, and they were approached yesterday by council officials and the police, and he said were very aggressive indeed. They'd broken into the park.
After your researcher spoke to me about 5 minutes ago, I looked on my Facebook page, not mine, the Gypsy Council Facebook page, to see a list of, over the last about 20 hours, of newspaper articles of gypsies and travellers who are being camped in the wrong places. You've got Tooting Common, Wild Park, Brighton, Broadwater Green, New Worthing, Rose Hill Park, Sutton, Gunnersbury Park, Oakley Green, Windsor.
And your point is what, Joseph?
Oakley Court Hotel, Maidenhead. Now, what it shows is there's a massive unmet need across the country, and councils are doing absolutely nothing to meet that unmet need.
So it's right for people. So it's right for people. It's right then for people to break a lock, break into a park.
No, it isn't. It isn't right at all. But
okay.
But gypsies and travellers can't bear all the blame for this. If gypsies and travellers do things wrong, then, you know, that's bad. But if you've got so many people, it took me 2 minutes to look up that list of people who are parked in the wrong places. The reason they're doing it is not because they want to, they're doing it because they have to.
You see, the point is,
politicians continue to use gypsies and travellers as political football, then this is going to continue to happen.
The problem, of course, Joseph, is that I think probably people would be less upset if there wasn't this huge amount of waste, this huge amount of detritus, if people actually took it away with them and went... There are public dumps, you can go and take it to a dump.
You've got no proof there was the people who were on the park that left the rubbish there. I mean, what I've seen myself is when gypsies and travellers turn up, it's like a free-for-all. People bring all the rubbish out nearby.
Really, Joseph? Into Gunnersbury
Not always,
Park?
but it does happen. And just the same way your colleague just accused us of doing that all the time, I can accuse people who are not from Gypsy Traveller community of doing that, can't I?
Yeah, but the point is...
Stereotyping is very easy to do.
OK, stereotyping is one thing. Fact is another. According to the council official we spoke to, this stuff was left... Maybe the odd crisp wrapper was dropped by somebody.
Rubbish is not the issue here. It's homelessness.
OK, homelessness. But actually, the question Penny was making, which I'll put you again, you may choose not to answer it, is, yes, of course, people deserve somewhere to live. Yes, of course, as a society, we'd be better if we could help people find sites where they could live in a civilised manner. But the key word there, Joseph, surely, is civilised. If you want my sympathy and support... If you want my sympathy and support, don't leave filth behind. Use the dump.
The actual... neglect to tackle the issue by local authorities, that's the problem. Not the side effects of what happened when people haven't got a place to live and there's a certain amount of rubbish accrues because of it. How can that be the issue?
Well, because that's what people...
No, that's not the issue. We're talking about human beings here.
Yeah, I know we are, and we talk about human beings who leave filth behind them and think that's all right.
No, we're not talking about human beings that leave filth behind them. You're talking about a situation where people have put their caravans in a place where it's probably not the best place for them to be, and it's not authorised for them to be there, and rubbish gets dumped there by them maybe, and by other people maybe. But the issue is the fact that they don't have a proper place to go.
But they have a proper place to go for the rubbish, which is the local tip, like everybody else does.
If you have a vehicle that's much bigger than a normal car, you can't get into the tip. And people who've got six-wheel vans, which you often need to pull a caravan, are not allowed into the local dump.
So it's all right then?
It's not all right at all. But why are you going on about rubbish when there's a big homelessness issue? Is that what you're really concerned about now?
No, I'm making the point that yes...
Yeah, I'm making a point that if you had like 25 people trying to sleep in the doorway of a shop and they left some rubbish with you behind, would that be the main issue?
No, of course not. And
why is it the issue here then?
It's an element
of... Gypsies and Travellers, maybe?
It's an element of the issue.
No, because it's stereotyping. You know, Gypsies and Travellers...
Hang on, I'm not stereotyping anybody. I'm not stereotyping anybody.
You jumped on that.
I'm sorry to show you, I'm not stereotyping anybody. The fact is, there is a mound of rubbish, including sofas and other stuff, left
How
behind.
many sofas do you get into a caravan? I'll tell you, you don't get any because they don't go into caravans. So thank you very much.
Well, some people.
Go on, tell me how many caravans
I'll tell you how.
have
Some
sofas in them.
some people in the travelling...
No, tell me, come on.
No, I'm going to make another
You
point.
just accused us of dumping
No,
sofas.
not you personally. Some people in the travelling community make their money, though, by removing rubbish in lorries, and they would have
And so
lorries
do
as well.
other people.
Sure, of course, but I'm just making the point. They don't have to have come from caravans. They could be purpose-built in the caravan, but they could have been... Somebody could have paid them to take them away, and they fly-tipped them.
Yep. So how do you know that the people in those caravans did that? You're presuming that, aren't you?
I'm making an educated guess on the evidence from the council and the police.
Well, there you see, we have to agree to differ, don't we?
Do you agree, though, that the problem is that when you've got something like this, it actually gives travellers a bad name, doesn't it?
I think it's programmes like this on the radio which perpetuate the stereotyping.
So you actually say that 100% of travellers actually don't actually leave a mess.
The big issue around London is a massive unmet need to provide sites for gypsies and travellers and programmes that focus on whether or not gypsies and travellers have dumped some rubbish in the park or not are missing the point.
Thank you very much for your time this morning from the Gypsy Council. That was Joseph G. Jones. It's BBC London 94.9. It's The Breakfast Show with me, Paul Ross and Penny Smith. Just gone 8:30. Harriet Scott, Travel and Sport on the way. News headlines first. Good morning.